Gents, we all know that feeling when you're lying in bed at night, scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, comparing yourself to all these guys living this lifestyle. They're in Dubai, they're in Bali, they're driving supercars, they've got the best girls, they're making money, they're all in shape, right? And we're sitting there and we're thinking, why the fuck is my life like this? Well, in today's video, I want to give you guys the cheat codes, the real hacks to become successful very, very quickly and leverage dopamine to put yourself in a position where you can actually become successful in the things that you want to be successful with. So when you're in that position, right, you know yourself, you're lying there, you're scrolling, you're going through all these different apps, you've maybe got your self-development books beside your bed, Atomic Habits, so on and so forth, even though it's gathered more dust than the Bible you bought a few years back. But put it this way, right, you say to yourself, tomorrow is the day. It is the day. You wake up early, 5 a.m, that alarm is set. You wake up easily in the morning, you smash it first time, you're up, clothes on, shoes on, you're out smashing a run. You come home, healthy breakfast, macros dialed in. You're killing it, you're off on a fly, you're in a very high frequency state. You're tackling your day like an absolute champion, an absolute winner. You're using all that willpower inside you just to move forward day after day. But hey, come day 3, something strange started to happen. You started to feel a little bit of resent for that alarm going off in the morning. You started sleeping in a little bit. That morning run, I'll move it to tomorrow, I'm feeling a bit tired. That nice healthy breakfast in which you were having, you know what, I'm just going to treat myself today. I've already had a few good days. One little bad meal won't hurt. You start feeling a bit foggy and groggy throughout your workday. You're smashing cans of Monster. You're starting to feel a little bit of a adrenal fatigue, you could call it. Starting to feel a bit worse for wear. And then by day 4, you've completely fallen off. You have no idea what the fuck has happened, considering you had such a high quality start to the week. But as the weeks progress, you've just tapered off and tapered off and tapered off. Well, today guys, I want to fix that for you. I want to give you everything I now know that you need today to win with your self-improvement, your fitness, your mindset, and your self-mastery journey. So let's just dive in. So first and foremost, what you have to understand is that the problems in which you're experiencing aren't actually you problems. It's essentially a dopamine issue, right? You have become addicted to dopamine over the last couple of years. I remember when I started all my journey around 16 years old, I didn't really have an iPhone, I didn't really have social media, I didn't have any of this stuff in which you guys all have now. And it made things probably easier than it would be at this stage of the game because there was no one to compare to. It was always just me versus me. And this can be the case now going forward if you allow it to be true. So what we need to start doing is leveraging dopamine on a morning. These things in which I'm going to run through are things that I run through with my one-to-one clients as we speak today, which work extremely well to almost rewire your brain to think differently, to operate differently, so you can actually achieve different results, because the current level of mindset in which you have will only facilitate the current level of results in which you have. So leveraging dopamine might just be the thing you need. So let's dive in. Leveraging dopamine can be very, very simple. It could mean we put our phone a couple of meters away from our bed. It could mean we lay our clothes out the night before. It could mean that we already pre-track our nutrition the night before for the following day so we don't run into decision fatigue. Because that's what dopamine is. It's about going for the easy option over the hard option. And if we can facilitate our life, our values, our intentions, and our mission every single day to align with the things that now put us forward, rather than pull us back, we can gain a hell of a lot more traction by leveraging what dopamine actually is. Because when you actually eat the healthy meal, when you actually wake up on time, when you have your clothes laid out, your hydration, your supplements, you crush that gym session, that morning run, you gain a different type of dopamine. You gain dopamine through discipline, and that itself will qualify as more strings to your bow and give you more self-worth, more motivation, more confidence in yourself. And over time, the quality of your life will therefore improve, and you'll gain dopamine or satisfaction or that serotonin release you get through joy or peace or alignment by doing the hard thing. But before you do the hard thing, you do need to actually systemize your day, your routine, and your life to now deploy these habits, these high performance habits of productivity, these nutrition principles, these, clothes laid out before principles, just so you can remove the friction from what it would be for you to actually achieve the results in which you want. You have to really be autistic with it initially for you to gain some momentum. And one of the biggest issues in which I find, even when people do all of the things I'm recommending you do, when you have the clear workout program, the clear diet strategy, the wake up time, the go to bed time, all of this stuff is locked in and you're on your self-improvement journey, people focus way too much on what they need to do rather than who they need to be. And this one is the kicker. If you try live a new life with all the old habits in which the old you had, whilst implementing all these new habits on top, what's going to happen is you're going to get overwhelmed, you're going to get stressed, you're going to burn out very, very quickly. So you need to actually think, the best quality version of me, what would he now do today to move me forward in the future? And you have to act like the person you now need to be. That's identity. And when you can leverage the highest version of yourself, the quality, thoughts, thinking, beliefs and actions of the person you now need to become, that's when you can start behaving your way to success. And one of the mindsets I really enjoy operating with is treat yourself like an athlete. Because an athlete never justifies how much they need to train. They never make excuses for those early morning wake-ups. They never compromise on hitting their nutrition targets or their journaling, their mindset work, their self-reflection, their rest, their recovery, saying no to alcohol, drugs, vices, so on and so forth. So if you start looking at yourself, and this is identity construction, looking at yourself in the mirror and thinking, who would I now need to be? What actions, behaviours and traits would that man have? And how can I now embody them today? And if you start holding yourself to the standard of what an athlete would hold their self, then you can start behaving your way into this new identity, which will give you a hell of a lot more traction with the outcomes you want. Because it's not how do I achieve this level of hypothetical success, it is who achieves this hypothetical level of success. And when you have the goal, you have the mission, you can reverse engineer all of the steps and become that person now, so you can facilitate the growth in the moment to essentially move forward, because it's going to be death by 100 tiny cuts. It's never about making these massive overnight changes, but small, minute, micro-dose changes done on a regular basis will be one of the biggest things you can ever do. Because over time, if you were to, let's say, improve by 1% better every single day, direct quote from Atomic Habits, 1% better every single day, that'll be 37 times better than you currently are by the end of a year. And think about how good that would be. It's not just 2x, it's not just 3x, it's 37x better. And when you can put yourself in that position over time, that's just going to grow you at an exponential rate. Another very powerful habit in which you would implement, and this is definitely still aligned with the identity construction, the kind of mental rewiring of becoming the person you now need to be, so you can leverage dopamine and make this whole self-development journey extremely easy without using willpower. This would be morning assumptions. It's about assuming that you are the man already. Writing yourself down a script, certain character traits, almost a story, almost a letter, an ode to self, you could call it, that positions your mindset in the right place for the day, so you know the way the guy shows up, the way he eats, trains, thinks, performs, dresses, everything, down to the smallest granular details. Because if you're familiar with the movie Limitless, when he takes the pill and everything changes, he's an operator in business, he looks the part, he dresses well, does his hair right, gets the girl, makes some money. You can also do that. But it's about changing the quality of your thoughts, because again, as I said earlier, if you try live a new life while still having components of your old life in check, you'll be split down the middle, and that's where the cognitive dissonance will come from. You'll just become overwhelmed and stressed over trying to wear too many hats or wear too many masks, you could call it. So making morning assumptions, assuming that you already have the result now and acting as if you have achieved everything you wanted today, will put you in a position to act in alignment with that outcome of the person who has what it is you're looking for. Now, another very successful habit in which we'd look at today is the no willpower method. So 95% of your actions are actually not consciously made. How incredible is that? How crazy is that at the same time? Because see if your environment is set up for failure, Let's say if you're trying to lose body fat, for example, and there's donuts all over your kitchen, cookies in the cupboard, ice cream in the fridge, the chances of you going through your day and maybe having a little bit of a stressful meeting, a little bit of a setback, feeling a little bit low in energy. Like I've been super ill the last couple of days, and it's been much harder to control the diet because my willpower has been lower, my life force energy has been lower. But imagine your house is full of all these hyper palatable gluttonous snacks, and any time that you feel a little bit off your game, what's the first thing that's going to happen? You're going to look for dopamine. You're going to go straight to the cupboard. But imagine you open a cupboard and instead of cookies and ice cream and cakes, there was only steak, there was only eggs, there was only fruit. You would be like, you know what, fuck it, I can't even be bothered going to the shop, I'm just going to have the steak and eggs, I'm going to have the fruit, I'm going to have the berries. And you would therefore leverage dopamine. You would put yourself in a position to only go for the good quality option. And a lot of guys fail at this because they surround themselves with losers. They still surround themselves in the same situations that got them in the bad spot in the first place: the pub, the drugs, the negative people in their life, and it pulls them down, it pulls their life frequency down, and that causes them to make poorer decisions based on who they now need to be, and they fall into the trap of these bad habits and vices which keep them stuck. So always set up your environment. This could be your office, this could be your bedroom. The bedroom's a big one, you know, having your book beside your bed and your phone further away, having your office laid out clean and tidy, no distractions, so you can actually focus and do deep work, making sure your gym clothes are laid out the night before. All these simple things can facilitate far more growth in the short term than you currently believe. And a lot of people think they can just willpower their way to success, but in reality that is a fool's game, because willpower is a very finite source of energy, and it will fade and it will burn out over time. So you have to be smart in setting your environment up for success by positioning these things in place, otherwise you will be your own biggest limiting factor. And then the final habit / mindset change I would recommend for this video, that would be lifestyle design. I want you guys to start living your life by design rather than default. So many men will coast through life, taking losses at every single turn, because they've not done anything to hold themselves to a new level of standard, a new level of thinking. And this is where the pain, this is where the stress, this is where the anxiety will come from, guys, if you just feel you're getting dragged through life unwillingly. But see, when you can be willing enough to start setting your life up for success through all of the habits, all of the mindset shifts that I have now explained in this video, you start taking more ownership and personal responsibility, which quite frankly is one of the most powerful traits any man can have. So when it comes down to lifestyle design, guys, what you can start doing is start putting yourself first. What would the best day look like? What time would I wake up? How much money would I earn? What type of physique would I have? What type of food would I eat? What type of conversations, what type of people would I now find myself around day to day? What type of habits, what type of thinking would I actually have? Because again, your life can be like GTA. You can design your character, you can design your life. When do you go a walk? When do you go to bed? What time do you allocate to certain tasks or hobbies or habits? What level of stress do you allow yourself to have from day to day? All of this is just a mindset. So the minute you can change your mindset and start designing your life in alignment with the outcomes in which you want, the higher likelihood of you achieving said outcomes will be within your favour rather than against you. And lastly, guys, if you've made it this far in the video, I just want to say a massive well done. A couple of things I would recommend you walk away from this video with today is: number one, don't look for overnight success. It will be challenging, it will be hard, but if you implement the habits and the mindset shifts from this video, your life will become a lot easier. On top of that as well, guys, always focus on the 1% changes, small gradual changes over time done extremely well for a long period of time. Time is key. Spend the time, take the time, and don't get frustrated if you've not got everything sorted within the first week or two. It is a game of iteration and a game of death by 100 tiny cuts, and over time you will build up the momentum, the mindset, and the identity of the person who can stick it for the rest of his life. Trust me. And last but not least, knowledge without action is just information. So if you're one of these guys that wanks over self-development porn, has atomic habits but still has tits tiny little arms and a wee soft belly, then you're missing the mark. Take action on everything you're learning every single day. Build the man every single day. If you want the success, you want the girls, you want the money, it's the man that gets all of that. You can't just wake up one day, click your fingers and you have it all. You have to construct your life, your identity, your habits and your mindset to become valuable enough to gain that value in exchange. Always focus on the small, little minute changes that you can implement every single day without stress, and over time you can build your physique, your mind and your life and become undeniable and destroy average. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you enjoy the content. Make sure if you want access to my daily 5, this is my success principles for living an amazing life, fun, fitness, fulfillment and freedom across the board. My WhatsApp is below. Drop me a message, I'll send it directly to you. There's going to be a free self-mastery course below as well, which is a 4-step video guide on your physique, your purpose, productivity and performance, which is incredible. And if you do want to work with me one-to-one in any capacity, my link below will be in the description. You can shoot me a message on that. I'll be in touch straight away and we can chat exactly about where you're at, where you want to go and how we can best get you there. Guys, I will see you in the next one. Let's keep hammering. Much love.